Hello everybody, my name is Aud and welcome back to the Aud Narrations channel, the place where we read and react to interesting Reddit stories. Today we're reading a story titled, I Wonder Because I'm Deeply Hurt and Doubt That I Can Trust This Person Ever Again. As always, if you enjoy these videos and want to see more, make sure to hit the subscribe button, that way you won't miss the latest upload. Alrighty, let's make a start. The post reads, Advice please. Can a relationship recover from infidelity with a dismissive, avoidant attachment style? I deeply believe he's dismissive avoidant. I've not really heard that term before. He was the one who confessed to it and has been trying to get me to apologize. He apologized a few times over the past week, pushing to speak and really wants to fix what has been broken. He had a deep, long messages, voice notes and all. I understand we both had wrongs in the relationship, and since I'm only learning about his dismissive avoidance now, I could have done things differently in some ways, just I haven't cheated. I never stepped out of the relationship with anyone else. He did with two, according to my knowledge, and so I'm not sure if it happened before. He really seems remorseful and told me that I'd hurt him too in ways, and some things he mentioned is valid, which I understand, but many of those led up due to the things from his side. Regardless, I didn't just go out of the relationship. He truly tried every angle in the past month to talk to me, etc., see me, but I held no contact for 3 weeks before I decided to chat. He says he wants to fix and asked me to help him fix. He said he'd even do counseling with me. I'm so scared. My trust is deeply broken. But in a sense, I understand I hurt him too. I just can't find a justifiable reason for him to have cheated. We're all different. We broke up a lot in the past year, and what? He says he realizes he loves me and wants to build a life with me, grow old with me, etc. But he also said that maybe it was a good thing because he opened his eyes. He understands my hurt as to what I can fathom, and I just really don't know what to do. Do I go through with all this, with him, regardless of how hurt I feel because I do love him, or what? Our relationship has been rocky since the beginning, and we both agree that we didn't do it right from the get-go. We both have unhealed trauma, which I believe led to a lot of mishaps from the get-go. But I just don't know. My head and heart tells me to let go, but could it be because I'm just so raw from all of this? He has done so much for me since day one, renovated my house, bought me many things, he used to want me around all times, spent a lot of time with me. He also mentioned that last night, he's an overthinker and sometimes needs space to regulate and put things in order, which I understand because I'm kind of the same. He also mentioned that he was even thinking of getting us a place of our own so that we can work through it with me, because he agrees to us needing space since we're never alone and always have company. He even said that we should chat about a way forward and not harbour on blaming each other, but really trying to make things work, etc. My main concern is, if he gets angry again, or his dismissive avoidance pulls away, that he might just go drinking again, go outside the relationship for validation, and I wouldn't be able to handle it. And I'd be damned going the extra mile with him, only to fall back to this. He seems very sincere due to this deep kind of conversation that's never happened before. He did mention he's held back a lot in the relationship, and I'm sure for his own hurt as well, and yeah, he did. I personally believe, looking back, we both had shortcomings a lot, and I could admit to mine even though I feel I had reasons. We were both wrong and blaming won't help. He really isn't a bad guy, and I see a lot of qualities in him, and he acknowledges my qualities as well. I'm just so scared. And yeah, maybe I do and did focus on my own hurt more than what he also dealt with, and that's probably selfish on my end too, but I'm just scared. Can this truly be fixed? Can things get better going forward? Counseling and all? What are your opinions? Has anybody been through similar situations and that it worked? Yeah, at the end of the day, I need to make my own decisions regarding all this, but I need some support and guidance, please. Yeah, if he stepped out of the relationship, going back with him and sort of committing more to this guy, sort of just gives him more opportunity to do this kind of thing to you again, effectively trapping you in a way that you can't leave if and when it happens again. It very much sounds like OP has been gaslit from the way the post is written from my perspective, that, okay, the guy's, OP's acknowledging that he's done all these things wrong, but also then keeps saying like, oh, I've done stuff wrong too, I've done this, without really telling anything that she's done. And it just sounds like OP's trying to sink his fingers into her, if that makes sense. Like, it's OP's, well, probably the affair partner more, but it's just, I suspect they've tried to compare apples to oranges here and gone, your hurt's bad, but what about all the stuff you've done to me? I'm being the affair partner in this sentence. What about all the stuff you've done to me? Don't you feel like you deserve to be with me for the hurt you've caused me? And, at the hurt I've caused you, like, we deserve to be together now. Even though, yeah, they both can leave at any time they want. Personally, OP, I would not go anywhere near this fucking dude, especially not moving in together, especially not going to counseling and stuff and trying to work through it, because from what it sounds like, it's more you having to work through your pain and him just having to go through the motions to sort of placate you and allow him to carry on. Because I suspect if he is dismissive avoidant in this case and is using it, if he's the one sort of giving this as a reason, then that's an excuse for his behavior. That's like, oh, it's not me, it's my dismissive avoidance. Oops, I did it again. Yeah, just I wouldn't bother. This is someone trying to rationalize and make up excuses for their own bad behavior and then trying to manipulate you into not giving them any consequences afterwards. They can kick rocks. Let's see what the community says. Someone's left a comment saying, stop, do not move in, do not attend couples therapy. Infidelity is not a couple's problem. Infidelity is his personal problem, and that he can only fix himself. And rebuilding trust is 100% his job. You can't help. I suggest you ghost and block him for at least 6 months, 0 contact. Then, if he can provide you with a detailed list of the tools he's developed to be a safe partner, and a second list of things he'll do to rebuild your trust, you may consider reconciling. You're not obliged in any way. Why? Because he should be doing all those things for his next partner, whoever she is, and during those 6 months, you should date others. Most people never cheat. OP replied saying 100%, you're very right, thank you for your input. And yes, he should do all this on his own. I feel like he's just playing games and not serious. Although he seems serious, he obviously just knows I'm a softie and I forgive easily. Yeah. He should be able to action his words and not just say it, and I appreciate your time in replying for this. I personally do not feel fit enough to give him another chance. He messed up big time and played his games. I'm having it really tough, and he just goes on about his life as if nothing ever happened. But I do believe I'm very low down, but my comeback will be very large. I did no contact for 3 weeks, and he stalked me, messaged me from all angles, etc, etc. Now that I'm in contact with him, he doesn't do much. He just says that things he thinks I want to hear. Exactly. But I'll get to it again and go non-contact with him. I really need to get going from this. It's been a month almost where I can barely move, I can't think straight, I'm on my phone reading mostly, and it's just not healthy for me to go. I think my soul is deeply crushed. I'm sorry to hear that, OP. Someone else left a comment saying, I'm very sorry that he did this to you, and I appreciate the self-respect you have not to step outside of your marriage even when things got difficult. You are going to get a lot of advice telling you not to give this man another chance, and I completely agree. What a curveball. His apology is probably very sincere, but it's apparent that he has issues that go way beyond anything you could have done. You did nothing to deserve this. He did confess to this, and that should be something to consider in weighing your decision, but it's not enough leverage to ease your pain. This was premeditated, especially since he cheated with you with 2 different women. I'm going to suggest that you do not reconcile with him. The only way he knows that cheating is wrong is to pay a steep price for doing it. He has to pay the consequences, otherwise he'll be having his cake and eating it too. He has to lose you to realize how much damage he caused. Otherwise he'll understand that cheating almost cost him everything, but he was able to save it. Not that you gave him another chance. Either way, I'm sorry you're going through this. I think that's actually a really interesting perspective, that like it almost burned everything to the ground, but he, through manipulation and through disgusting tactics, was able to keep you sticking around. To be fair, that actually does click and resonate a lot with some of the other stories we've read where, you know, you give them another chance and so on, and sort of they just get better at the manipulation side of things. They get better at keeping you locked in a way. OP replied saying, thank you for your advice and care and the same. And they write, yes, it's so tough and it hurts me painfully, and the fact that he also minimizes the damage he's done to me. I'm considering not talking back at all. I could just imagine him doing it again, and yes, I too believe it was me. It was premeditated, and my soul tells me it was not the first time either. To promise me this and saying that just isn't enough to actually show me he wants to change. Also expecting me to put in the work. I didn't deserve it, you're right. And him not coming to the situation and fixing it, to me, and also how I feel, is as if he's playing games. I'm seeing him on Friday afternoon to chat, and I think I'll tell him then that to me, I cannot continue due to my trust being utterly broken by what he has done. Someone else replied, saying, you're in an emotionally difficult situation, and it's hard to navigate. I wish you the best. You could use the best for a little while. No matter what you choose, I hope things work out for you. OP replied, saying, it's so draining and so painful all at once. I'm just not mentally stable at this time, and all I do is lay and I can barely think. It has deeply affected my mental health. I hope that I'll soon be able to get out of this rut. Thank you for caring. Someone else replied, saying, my friend, you are deeply hurt. The clinical term for what you're dealing with is betrayal trauma, and it's the worst kind of betrayal short of murder. You're an intelligent woman, and you know what you need to do. but your emotional state may be stumbling block at times. I cannot blame you for that. No one can blame you. No matter what you decide, you may make a few mistakes, but that's okay. You're going through hell and you've earned the right to do this. However, you need to mistake or not. Eh? My heart to you, my friend. OP replied, saying, thank you for your information. I need to do some reading on that. I'm so down I can't even be alive at the moment. I know in my heart he won't stop. He really messed up my mind big time. I'm so hurt. Thank you for your love and care. Yeah, it's a really tricky situation, OP, but I think the advice given here is probably the best, which is just, if you want to talk to him, you can, and be like, I don't want to do this anymore, but also he doesn't deserve that necessarily. It's completely up to you whether you want to give him that extra information. You can just disappear, and there's piss all they can do about it. But yeah, what do you think OP should do? What would you do in OP's shoes? Let me know in the comments. Sorry for interrupting the video, but since the start of the new year, I've set myself a goal of trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. It would really help out the channel if you hit the subscribe button. Thank you very much. Alrighty, so the second story for today is titled, My boyfriend, male 25, and I, female 23, had an argument that is giving me red flags. Is it enough to leave our years-long relationship? Please advise. The post reads, my boyfriend and I have been together for over 5 years, and I've lived together for 1.5 years now. For context, I was getting ready to go to a Halloween potluck with some of my real friends and their respective boyfriends. When I was getting ready, my boyfriend began discussing the idea of a curfew with me, explaining that no woman should be out till late because nothing good happens late into the night, and that I shouldn't be out till 3 AM. I explained that I don't want to be out that long, but the idea of him putting a curfew on me made me so uncomfortable. He told me that unless he's physically there with me, i.e. a female, I shouldn't be out of the house late and at a party. That's a bit weird. It's a bit weird. Putting a strict curfew like that is kind of weird and controlling. Maybe he just used the wrong word. Personally, for me, like in a relationship, I don't think I'd really be doing that anyway, if I could avoid it. But there shouldn't need to be a big, like a formal curfew. That's kind of cringe. Yeah, I disagree. And fuck this guy. Right, let's continue. I told him there's no need for him to be this controlling with me, and then I was very confused. Since he had never done anything like this before, I go to social events pretty regularly, but rarely go to parties like this, maybe once every 3 months. He was also invited twice to come to this party with me, and declined. I asked my boyfriend why he's saying all this, and he said that I have standards, these are my standards, and if you don't like them, you don't have to live with me anymore. I'm not budging on this. Oh, I was going to say, like, this is screaming he's been watching Andrew Tate type content. And then explain that, now I expect you to be home at 1 AM because you're pissing me off, but I should have been saying 11 PM. Yeah, fuck this guy, just leave. Just leave, this is not worth the argument. If he wants to be a little, like, freak, then he can be a little freak on his own. This freaked me out. I packed a bag and left my parents' house, and haven't been back since. Good. I don't know what to do from here. I want to emphasize that he's never done anything like this before, which really threw me off, and hence why I'm asking for advice on the internet for him. I left the house crying and upset, and my boyfriend hasn't reached out in over 72 hours to check or initiate a chat. Ideally, I would like a conversation to be started by him, but I'm convinced my boyfriend has no shame for his actions and believes that I'm the one in the wrong. Please let me know what you, an unbiased random internet stranger, I don't know, Reddit's pretty biased, thinks about this situation. I love the relationship my boyfriend and I built together, but this seems like a huge red flag to me. Completely agree. TLDR, my boyfriend told me I need a curfew before going to a party without him. When I told him this made me uncomfortable, he tried to punish me by making the curfew more strict. I left the house upset and we haven't spoken in 72 hours. Not sure what to do from here. This is a dude just going off on one. I guess my initial thought is like, okay, so if he enforces this boundary with you, he enforces this curfew with you, and also is very willing to sort of give you retribution for going against it, right? For questioning it, actually. It's not even going against it, even done anything yet. Just imagine what he'll be like if you end up having kids with a person like this, or if you get married to him and you give him sort of even more control in that way, like tie yourself to him. This kind of behavior in my head leads to things like, oh, if you go out, I'm locking the door at 11. I will not be answering the door after 11, for example. And you're kind of stuck outside without a key because you were late. And so he's like punishing you through that way. And then we'll blame you for having to stay elsewhere and so on, and sort of punish you further, even though it's, yeah, anyway. Yeah, big red flag, like huge. I wouldn't I wouldn't be too upset. If he's giving you 72 hours of peace, it's probably doing you a favor. Right, let's see what some of the community says. Someone's left a comment saying, girl, you're 100% right. This is a huge red flag. Multiple, actually. Him referring to women as females. Oh, true, I didn't spot that. Putting restrictions on you, getting angry because you disagree with him, and punishing you because he's angry. You're probably right that he has no shame and thinks you are completely in the wrong, but that's okay. You're not going to be able to convince a guy this delusional. It is absolutely enough to leave your years-long relationship. If you stay, he'll continue to try and exert more and more control over you, and you'll be stuck in an abusive relationship. 100%. It sounds like he kind of instigated this in order to break up. So after 5 years of dating and 1.5 years of living together, he announces a new standard to force you to move out of his place. I assume this was his place and you moved in with him. Weird and pretty rotten of him. I'm sorry. I'm awfully sorry this happened to you, but it sounds like he dreamed this up to give you the boot. OP replied saying, yeah, his parents own the place, but we both pay rent on it. Just not an official lease or anything. It genuinely didn't feel like he was trying to give me the boot, but more like he wasn't going to relent on this new standard of his, and that our place of living is something in his control, which is what he wanted in this situation. Someone replied saying, no lease equals easier for you to leave or for him to kick you out. Someone replied saying, exactly. This is often when abusers show their true colors, when they think their partner is trapped. Exactly. Someone left a comment saying, oh, and if you have a key, figure out a time when he isn't there and go retrieve all of your stuff. And someone replied saying, and bring friends in case he is home. Very good advice. Someone else left a comment saying, wow, somewhere he got the idea that controlling and dominating you would put you in your place. I would never talk to him again. This is just a glimpse into what the future would be like with him. Someone replied saying, exactly. Mine started showing his true colors around the same time frame. It never changes and only gets worse. Someone else left a comment saying, you listened to your instincts and you did great, babe. Don't second guess yourself. 100%. 1000% on that last comment. Tricky stuff. What do you think OP should do? What would you do in OP's shoes? Let me know in the comments. As always, if you appreciate these videos and want to see more, make sure to hit the subscribe button. That way you won't miss the latest upload. Alrighty. We'll have to finish that for today. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.